We're super conscious at Soak that we don't want to be another Bitcoin podcast. So
Totally.
doesn't change anything on your end as far as what you're doing. But how's vlogging changed your life?
Totally.
Have you ever heard of Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is a swarm of sewer rats.
Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
It is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
Is it a currency?
Or is it more like a stock?
Or is it just stupid?
Bitcoin has rallied so much this year. Traditional money managers are getting more and more worried about the digital currencies.
Bitcoin is worthless artificial gold.
The price of a single Bitcoin has climbed above $100,000 for the first time after rising nearly 140% this year.
SoakQuest, only on Nostr.
I listened to a podcast with Jack and Odell where Jack gave Odell a ton of shit for his quality of content on Nostr. And I was wondering if he's called you to concede number one influencer status on the Nostr protocol yet.
No, but he should. So if you're listening, Matt, like I'm professional lighting right now. Look at this shit.
Amateur or professional?
Professional.
You know, it's so funny. I was just like, speaking about the content thing on Nostr, I was just like kind of perusing Nostr one day, and I was like, you know, something's missing. And I think the thing that's missing is like, I'm kind of used to doom scrolling a video feed, you know, and like, not that that's like necessarily a good behavior that I'm engaged in, but like, that's kind of like the new cable. Like when you used to channel surf back in the day, like the new channel surfing is just like you flipping through reels that are all like super politically charged and racially motivated. That's what we do now. And then like, you know, cat videos, and then like, you know, video. We're all just very used to video as a medium now, and it's very easy to do. And I was like, I could just, you know, get a DJI mic and start shooting shit on my phone. So why not? And then that's what I did. And then I just started putting out shit. And then everybody else started doing it too. And I was like, cool, Nostr has vlogs now. Mission accomplished.
No one is paying attention.
Attention is culture. Culture and attention are interlinked. So like the things that you focus on, those are the things that like your society is going to care about. And in your individual life, those are the things that are going to affect you as a person. It's like winemaking for you is something that you've chosen to devote a considerable amount of time to. And that focus, that attention that you put on winemaking has changed you as a person in probably a myriad of different ways that are hard to quantify because of all the things that you have to know and do in order to be a successful winemaker, right? And so I think like when we're on Nostr, we're, you know, choosing to build like this sort of new attention economy that I believe has a better, you know, foundational layer, base layer than like, you know, some of the internet technologies, these walled garden web 2.0 apps that we're all used to. And also I just, you know, Bitcoin Twitter to me has gotten extremely low signal. You know, Bitcoin is like a movable feast in the sense that like in the early days it was IRC, and then it was Bitcoin Talk Forum, and then it was Reddit, and then it was Twitter, and then it was social audio apps like Clubhouse and Spaces, and now it's Nostr. So Nostr is where the energy of Bitcoin has moved. It's a bit fragmented because not everybody has figured that out yet, but like that is the new energy of Bitcoin. And I think one of the things about Nostr is like this idea of a social wallet, which is, you know, sort of a brand new concept that Nostr created, is really, I think, the way we're going to architect a lot of economies in the future.
So where are we at right now from your perspective in the Nostr circular economy evolution?
I don't really understand the Bitcoiners who are like, I don't get it. We already have ways to send Bitcoin. And it's like, no, dude, this is a re-architecture of the internet built by Bitcoiners that we control, and the conversation is always about Bitcoin, at least for now, like until it goes mainstream. Like that's great. That's why I'm there. That's why I'm hanging out.
Bitcoin, this digital currency that's out there that people say, oh, it might be the next big thing. What do you think?
I think it's rat poison.
Anywhere where you're forcing it, it's bullshit. So if you do the thing where you go into a restaurant and it's like your favorite, you know, I don't know, Vietnamese place, and these are like first generation immigrants right off the boat, and you love their pho, and then you go, dude, you gotta get Bitcoin, dude, like, and they're just staring at you like, what the fuck is this random white guy talking about? Like, I think that is not a good way to push adoption forward in a medium of exchange sense. But I think anytime you find real value where both parties are freely exchanging Bitcoin, like in a Zap economy, or in, you know, privacy market tech before the government fucking came in and headshotted that shit. I think that you have a real transactional utility there that's valuable for both people in the here and now. And then that can grow and other use cases can grow from that. So what I would say is don't force it. Like, find ways when you want to spend your Bitcoin on something, notice that and say, oh, maybe that's something to foster more of. Like, you know, that's an interesting vertical that like I could work on, or I could build an app for, or I could do whatever, or I could encourage more people to do XYZ. I don't think you have to be an only Bitcoin business, but if you choose to be an only Bitcoin business, it becomes really interesting because you're actually putting yourself into like hard mode, kind of. I don't know. There's benefits and there's negatives to it, right? Like, in one sense, it's harder because it's hard to get people to part with their Bitcoin, but in the other sense, it's easier for you to, you know, get a small niche. One thing I've noticed, I'll say this about the Bitcoin businesses, is that the quality of their products is extremely high. And I think it necessarily has to be for two reasons. Number one, it's hard to get people to part with their Bitcoin. And number two, Bitcoiners really prize quality and they're willing to pay for it. And that's one of the cool things about Bitcoiners.
Woman, what do I have to do to educate you to the fine things in life?
It makes it harder. And when it's harder, cream rises to the top.
Kind of, I mean, everything kind of eventually comes to Nostr. There's a client built for everything if there's not one app that has quote unquote everything. And all this, a specific connection, lack of algorithm, just different connection with people. How do you see that changing the world as Nostr thinking about it as the everything protocol?
Yeah, I think, you know, Nostr right now is, as Naval Ravikant described, a credible backup to the censorship of X. So that's what we are at the moment. We're a credible alternative or backup to when they come for Elon, which eventually they will because he's enabled far too much freedom. So, you know, I mean, is X free? No, there are still problems with X. I got limited, you know, on my burner account. I got limited for something I said the other day. So it's not full free speech on X, whereas on Nostr it is. That said, I think that the normie mind won't wake up to that because until it's, you know, the moment, because X is just where all of the outrage and, you know, the goings on of the day are. How it's the public square. Like, and Nostr hasn't earned the right to be public square yet, and that's fine. But I think it will ultimately.
It's the ultimate gift and the ultimate responsibility.
And so it's like, yeah, man, future's on Nostr, bro. Fucking get with it or run from it, bro. I don't know, bro.